Tonight, a family is still traumatized after their 2-year-old son nearly died when a rattlesnake bit him in their backyard earlier this month. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. CBS 8's Anna Laurel joins us live from the family's home in Del Sur. Anna, this family wants to share their story to help other families learn what to do if this happens to one of their children.
That's exactly right, you guys. I mean, here in San Diego, people see rattlesnakes every day. And this family did everything right when their little boy was bitten by a very poisonous rattlesnake right here behind me at their fire pit. But they feel like the lack of access to anti-venom, that is the problem. And that is what could send them or anyone else with a child back into a life or death situation from a snake bite.
Balls. Yogi balls?
Yeah.
So now he's a lefty.
2-year-old Briggs Pfeiffer depends on his left hand now for a snack, unable to use his right hand after a rattlesnake bit him between his thumb and forefinger 3 weeks ago.
He came over to me and he goes, ah. I looked and all I saw was a drop of blood like on his finger, like the smallest little drop. You could not see any bite.
Briggs' older brother saw what was hiding behind the fire pit.
He was like, snake! And then I was like, what? And I looked over and I saw the rattlesnake.
They jumped in the car to go to Sharp's urgent care in Rancho Bernardo. A 911 dispatcher told them to wait for an ambulance. The urgent care did not have anti-venom. They would need to go to the emergency room at Palomar and Escondido.
He was laying down on the sidewalk out front, just like flat, just sweating, and like he wasn't moving.
First responders marked the poison moving up his body, turning his arm black. By the time he got to Palomar's ER 25 minutes away, they could not start an IV. Snake poison constricts your veins.
I thought he was going to die, and we all thought he was going to die, and even the doctor thought he was going to die. When they started putting the pads on to shock him, and I saw his blood pressure going down, and I was like, they took the labs, and we knew it wasn't good, and his whole arm was black. I was like, I don't want his last memory to be me screaming.
As a last resort, the Palomar ER team drilled into his leg and got him anti-venom that way. But then he had to go to Rady Children's Hospital. He stayed in ICU there for several days. Doctors still unsure he would make it.
Platelets of 13, like you don't live. Nobody understands how he's alive.
It took 30 vials of anti-venom to bring Briggs back, for blood to flow back into his arm and fingers.
Because he's 2, he's so, I think, more likely to die, but because he's 2, he's probably more likely to heal, right? But you have to be able to survive to get there.
I reached out to Sharp and Scripps and UC San Diego Health Systems. Sharp and Scripps say if bitten by a rattlesnake, call 911 first. Urgent cares do not have anti-venom. They can stabilize someone and arrange for transport to an ER. But remember, time is of the essence. It's that lack of access to even urgent cares that worries Briggs' mother even today.
Get kids stable and then be able to take them there. It could have been a completely different thing. I could have gotten stable at Sharp in 5 minutes and then gone right down to Rady's. But there's not that.
Yes, so Lindsay's whole point is that because you cannot get anti-venom at an urgent care, then that just elongates your time to find the ER that has it that's closest to you. Now, if you have a child, Rady Children's Hospital, yeah, that might be your best bet to get them there, but you still need to call 911 first because most likely you'll need an ambulance to rush you there. Time is of the essence. Live here in Del Mar, I'm Anna Laurel for CBS 8.
Anna, it's easy to understand and feel that fear that those parents were going through then. Just seeing that happen to their child in their backyard and finding out that the solution that could save him might not be available. Is there anything this family would do differently now that they've gone through this?
You know what, Carlo? No. That's what the takeaway is. They did everything they were supposed to do. They called 911 first. They were going to drive straight to their closest urgent care that's less than 3 miles from where I'm standing. But the 911 dispatcher said, no, they don't have it there. Wait for the ambulance. We'll rush you up. And then it was just kind of a game to find out where they could go, what they could get to the fastest. So they would do everything just like they did. They just wish they didn't have to only be able to really get to Rady's. If that's what needed eventually was the best thing for them.
Boy, just great to see Briggs doing well, and we're all wishing him the best. Anna Laurel reporting live. Thanks, Anna.
Yeah.
And we're learning new details right now in the last hour about a shooting in the Morena neighborhood this morning. San Diego police say officers shot and killed a man who robbed a store at knife point and then threatened another man with that same knife. Police say they caught up with the robbery suspect and tried to detain him around 11 this morning. He resisted and ran to a homeless encampment near Friars Road and Marina Boulevard. There, they say he grabbed another man as a hostage and held a knife to that man's throat. And that's when 3 officers shot at him. The suspect died at the scene. No one else was hurt. Per protocol, the San Diego Sheriff's Department is now investigating.
Trial continued downtown today for the man accused of killing his estranged wife and her friend in a downtown San Diego apartment. And Ali Abulaban's own mother took the stand today. Our Steve Price was inside the courtroom. Steve, it was an emotional start to the day, but then things turned a little testy during cross-examination.
Yeah, Marcel, we definitely had multiple tense exchanges today, especially with the deputy district attorney, who at one point basically accused Abulaban's mom of not telling the whole truth to try to protect her son. But the mom's testimony started today with her blowing a kiss to her son. Ali Abulaban's mother took the stand Monday and talked about the calls she got from her son, saying he just shot and killed his wife, Anna, and her friend, Ray Barron.
Do you recall talking to him on the phone?
I just recall saying, you know, that's not funny. That's not funny, Ali. Don't say that. That's not funny. And then I received the picture. I looked and I deleted it right away. And I hung up the phone and I literally fell on the ground. That picture, too gruesome to show on television, shows Anna and Ray dead on her couch. It happened October 21st, 2021, inside a luxury high-rise apartment in the East Village. Abulaban, who was a famous TikTok star, admits he did it, but says Anna pushed him over the edge. His mom says she never saw this coming. I was in disbelief. I was like, is this real? Is this a nightmare? I mean, one time I was like hitting myself and crying. I'm like, what's happening here? Dalal Wara says her son was always hyper and eventually diagnosed with ADHD. She also says he grew up in an abusive household, beaten by his dad.
And there was violence by Nasser towards Ali, correct?
Yes.
Physical,
Objection asked and answered.
Yes.
Emotional,
Yes.
verbal?
Definitely, yes.
The deputy district attorney accused Abulaban's mom of not being truthful from the start in this case, withholding information from the police and not telling everything she knows in court, especially when it came to violence in Ali and Anna's relationship.
I know you're trying to protect your son, but I need you to be truthful with
I
answering
am.
my
I'm being
questions.
very truthful.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Did the defendant tell you that he has punched and hit Anna on a number of occasions?
Not punched. Hit, yes, but not punched.
The deputy district attorney also showed a picture of Anna's face badly injured just 3 months before her murder, claiming the injuries were caused by Abulaban.
He was hurting.
And Abulaban's mom also testified in court today that she got married at age 15, was pregnant with Ali at 16. By the way, we are expecting to hear from Ali Abulaban possibly as early as tomorrow afternoon. Marcella?
Steve, so we know Ali Abulaban's mother testified in court today. Anyone else take the witness stand?
We heard from several witnesses today, including a detective, a psychiatrist, and one of Ali's friends from back in Virginia who said that he did not see the couple fight except for one time, and he said it was because Anna was being very negative and Ali was frustrated, saying, why can't you just have a good time? He said that was the only time he saw anything and that it was not violent.
All right, testimony continuing tomorrow with possibly Abulaban taking the stand in his own defense. Thanks so much, Steve, for that.
Big day.
Tonight, firefighters in the South Bay are more prepared to protect high-rise buildings and hotels during wildfires.
They went through specific training exercises at the parking structure right next to the Gaylord Resort in Chula Vista today. A lot of the training involved figuring out how to get water supply available to the line of fire as fast as possible. The training started last Thursday and will last for 10 days, involving at least 50 firefighters a day.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's first day back, so just,
From
gotta get back in the rhythm.
vacation. And you're excited because already next weekend we're talking about Memorial Day. Maybe you're making plans for weekend travel. It is the unofficial start to summer, and nearly 44 million Americans are expected to go out of town this weekend.
Yeah, about 38 million of those people will travel by car. According to AAA, it's a 4% rise over last year and comes close to a 44 million record set back in 2005. It's also a good predictor of what the summer travel season will be like.
If you are planning to travel this summer, you want to go ahead and book those accommodations and make your plans now. Don't wait because, the availability is going to tighten as we get into the summer months.
Airlines are also adding more availability for people flying to their holiday destination this weekend.
I always feel very fortunate. I mean, I know our beaches get kind of packed, but it's like we don't have to really go anywhere because we live here in San Diego, right?
Absolutely.
Still ahead tonight, a county supervisor is calling out State Farm as a bad neighbor for dumping homeowners.
Plus, where massive swarms of crickets are overrunning a neighborhood and taking over at least one home.
Cicadas, crickets. Oh my goodness. All right, well, we got cloud cover that's taken over. We got that marine layer rolling right back in tonight through tomorrow morning with some more afternoon sunshine. Your complete forecast is ahead.
Thanks, Carlene. And Comfort Canines are already helping some young patients at Rady Children's Chadwick Center. Up next, we're working for kids to help the hospital get its own resident canine therapy program.